Hey guys, welcome to the daily news analysis of 13th of January, guys. So let's see the very first news. First news is very breaking news. Actually, there has been unprecedented chaos in the judiciary of India as the top Supreme Court judges have revolted in against the Chief Justice of India, Justice Deepak Mishra, and that is publicly because they have brought up the press conference, and it is being seen that is for the first of the kind in the history of Indian judiciary that these topmost judges have are doing press conference and they are raising voice against the Chief Justice of India, Deepak Mishra, and they are telling, in these all the justices are telling that everything is not going well with Indian judiciary, and we have raised a few of our concern with Chief Justice of India, Justice Deepak Mishra, but he has totally ignored whatever the concerns that were raised by us, right? So to save the democracy, we had to come before the media, and we had to organize this press conference so that the people of India at least know that what is actually going in the judiciary, and it is totally left on the people of India to take decision whether to sustain this democracy or dilute this democracy, right? So that's why this was a news, and let's see, guys, in coming days we'll read many articles regarding it. So yeah, let's see the very second news. Second news is ISRO has launched its 100th satellite. Right now, just here's a twist. Don't assume that ISRO has launched 100 satellite. No, it has launched 100th satellites, right? Means before this it has already launched 99 satellites. So now, since it is a 100th launch, so you should very well know that this is the very favorite of UPSC, that UPSC often asks the 100th thing, the 200 and the 1000 thing type of thing, right? So just read about it. Now, what is the main issue actually? Space agency ISRO has successfully sent the rocket which is carrying the India's 100th satellite along with 30 others, right? And 4 months after its failed launch. Earlier also it has launched, but that is called failed. But after 4 months it has launched, and we have successfully sent this. Now it has been sent through PSLV, that is Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle C40, and we have successfully placed 31 satellites. Now one satellite is Cartosat 2 satellite, and 2 other satellites are also from India, and rest 28 satellites are from 6 countries, that is Canada, Finland, France, Korea, United Kingdoms and United States. And it is being said that it has been sent through PSLV, that is Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle C40, and this is the 42nd satellite of PSLV per se, right? And this mission is very much unique because with this mission all the 31 satellites they have launched, it has been launched in 2 different orbits, right? So that's why this makes this launch very uniqueness. And guys, about Cartosat satellite, if you want to see, then Cartosat satellite is Earth observation satellite which helps us for cartographic application as well as urban and rural applications, coastal land use and regulations, road network monitoring, water distribution, creation of land use maps, right? So this was about it. Next news is about BeiDou. Now this is the BeiDou is the satellite navigation system of China, right? And like the same which is for USA, GPS is for USA, and Navik is for India. Now why was it is news? Because China has recently sent twin satellites into space on a single carrier rocket as a part of effort to enable its BeiDou system to provide navigation and positioning system to the project what China is carrying, as a strategic project all over the whole world. And the name of the project is Belt and Road Initiative, and the target of it, China for providing the navigation and positioning system throughout the route of this Belt and Road Initiative is 2018, right? Through the end of 2018, China want to ensure that they must provide navigation and positioning system to all the area whichever is being covered under this Belt and Road Initiative, right? So let's see about BeiDou, guys. It is a Chinese satellite navigation system, and it has a potential of navigation system to overtake GPS in global usages, because it is said that it is very much accurate than GPS. In fact, it is written that it is 10 times more accurate than the finest level of GPS, right? Means GPS, whatever the GPS data we are getting from GPS, it shows a very much error, but it is said that the BeiDou is 10 times more more correct than GPS, right? And for the prelims perspective, guys, what are the navigation system for different countries? So for USA it is GPS, we already know that, right? It has a huge footprint all over the world though. For Russia, it's GLONASS. For European Union, it's Galileo. For India, it's NAVIC. And for Japan, it's Quasi-Zenith satellite system. Now, guys, a question what I want to ask from you here is, the NAVIC system of India was earlier named as a different system, right? You just have to name that system. I mean, what was the earlier name of NAVIC? So you just have to name it in the comment section below. Next news is about SPARCS. SPARCS. Its full form is Star Planet Activity Research CubeSat. Now, basically, the scientists of NASA are planning to launch a small telescope in the Earth's orbit that will be monitoring the flares and sunspots of small stars who are far away from, our galaxy, right? So they will check that whether those stars, I mean, the flares and sunspots coming from those stars, whether those are, region around which the planet, I mean, the life can be possibility or not, whether there is any possibility around those small stars or not, right? So stars that SPARCS will focus are very small, dim and cool as comparison to our sun. Means with comparison to sun, small stars whatsoever is being focused by this SPARCS will be small, dim and cool, right? And guys, it is being said that it has potentially of a life-friendly region around it, because those stars might also contain small planet, and if such kind of evidences is being discovered by the SPARCS, then it would be in future, it would be very much useful for the human generation to make some sort of contact with the planet over there, right? So it is indeed a news, very good news though. Next news is about Chiru goat. Guys, one more thing. Sorry, I just forgot to. See, this has been planned to launch in 2021, right? Means a very model thing of this SPARCS thing has been introduced by the NASA people, right? So 100% information is still not there. So I don't think that UPSC asks from those questions which is not 100% covered, right? So, but still, we should remember that, yeah, some sort of thing happened, because in future, if it again pop up, then, at least we'll remind that, okay, yeah, we have learned such kind of, news. Next news is about Chiru goat. Actually, recently, the Environment Ministry has ruled out the possibility of conserving the breeding of Chiru goat, which is also known as antelope, Tibetan antelope, right? I mean, its second name is Tibetan antelope. Now, what was the case? Actually, previous year what happened was Parliamentary Standing Committee on Science and Technology, Environment and Forest has recommended last year that to the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change to conserve this Chiru goat, right, in a conservative breeding environment. But Environment Ministry has totally ruled out the possibility of any sort of conservation breeding of this kind of Chiru goat, which is also known as Tibetan antelope. The reason they are keeping this, that, see, though this goat is the fur of this goat, which is also known as shatos, it is made for making shawls, which is of very fine fabric, and it is very of good quality. And it is being done by usually the people of Jammu Kashmir. So the parliamentary committee has asked Ministry of Environment for this conservative breeding of this Chiru goat, just because of the reason that the people of Jammu Kashmir can get employment under that. But Environment Ministry is telling that their conservation is much more important for us, right? Because they are directly related to environment. They are the gift of God, right? So it's our work to conserve them, right? And that cannot be, these Chiru goat cannot be conserved at a conservative breeding in a much healthier manner. They have given few of the reasons. I'll tell you the reasons. First of all, it is being said that there are a huge population, there's a huge probabilities that if they are kept in conservation breeding, then they might be killed, because their wool cannot be sheared or combed, right? So in order to collect the fur of the animal, what usually people do is people that kill them, right? So it might be possible that in this breeding they will be killed. So let them live in the natural environment. Why to do anything? Why to play with their natural habitat? So let them live with that. And also it is being said that if we are doing any relaxation in protection, like if we make them any conservative breeding, then you take the example of our animals are like tigers. They are poached by the poachers. So these goats will be very much easily poached by their poachers, right? So we don't want that to happen. so that their population don't get declined, right? Because they are near threatened animal by the IUCN list. Now, they have also, I mean, the government is also keeping the proposition that these goat usually live at a high altitude, right? If you are making the captivity which is below the altitude of their natural habitat, then it might be possible that the wool, the quality of wool which that we are getting as of now, in future that wool will not be getting, right? Because that wool is only due to the climatic conditions, as we have already read it in our science classes. I mean, if you have read the class 11th or 12th class science book, then we have read that the adaptive capability of the animals, or the any kind of organism living in colder area, they adapt to the situation like that they grow fur around them. All right. So it's quite evident that the fur which is contained in the Chiru goats are also due to the environmental conditions. And if we will keep them, I mean, the breeding of this Chiru goat at a altitude which is lower to that, then the quality of fur which we are getting now, then in future it might be possible that we will not get that quality, right? Okay, next news about Pradhan Mantri Ghar Sahaj Bijli Yojana, which is also called SAUBHAGYA scheme. Guys, it is a very, very important scheme, I must say it to you, right? Now, what is the SAUBHAGYA scheme? Basically, it was launched by the government of India with an aim to provide last mile electrical connectivity to all rural and urban households. Now, you will be getting confused. In past also there came many, power schemes which were promising for 100% rural and urban coverage. Yes, they were promising for rural and urban coverage, but they were not promising for 100% rural household and urban household to get the electricity supply. But under this project SAUBHAGYA, it is being said that every person whosoever has a home, they will be getting the electricity condition at a free of cost if they are coming under the below poverty line with respect to the SECC data that has been released in 2011, right? So under that SECC data will be keeping them under this line. Now, and if family is very poor and if they are not enrolled under SECC data, then what we will do is that we will just charge from them a nominal value of say 500 rupees, and we'll ask the electricity department to take that 500 rupees from them at an installment basis, right? And whatever the subsidy will be paid by the central government. And through this, the government has target of providing 24/7 power to all by 2019. Next news is about China has broken the India's monopoly of internet monopoly in Nepal, basically. And this news I'm discussing with you is just because of the reason that if these kind of fodder, you might include yours in the mains answer writing. Now, what has been done basically? Earlier there was a monopoly of India over Nepal's providing internet services, right? But now this monopoly will be shared by the China. I mean, India will no more having monopoly. China will also come as a major player, because China recently signed an agreement with the government of Nepal. This clearly shows that China is having a huge inclination towards China. Nepal is having a huge inclination towards China, which is not good for India. So India must also incline their policies as such, so that to give some sort of indication to Nepal that we are not happy with your steps, whatever you have taken. Anyways, but in the same article, one other point was also given that I also thought of highlighting it with you. Nepali government has also approached the Beijing-based Asia Infrastructure Investment Bank and asked them for the funding support of a project which is a 4.2 kilometer road tunnel, which will connect Nepal directly to China at a very easier way. Because if you see the location of Nepal, then it is situated at Himalayan region, right? So the topography is not that conducive to have direct and easy connectivity with China. And after the construction of this 4.2 kilometer tunnel, it is being said that the connectivity will become much more easier, so that the trade activity between Nepal and China could also get increased, right? So it is indeed the indication for India and indication for the the UPSC students per se, because we'll get to have many points regarding that, how what will happen in future. I mean, we can, devise our answers. Next news is about Iran has rejected worries over the impact of new United States sanctions on Chabahar port. See, recently, guys, actually, before this, I want to discuss an agreement, nuclear agreement, which is called Joint Comprehensive Plan of Agreement, right? So, this Joint Comprehensive Plan of Agreement has been signed between P5 plus one country and Iran. Now, within that P5 one country, the countries that are coming are United States of America, France, UK, China and Russia. They are P5, right? And one country is Germany. So these P5 plus one country has signed the agreement with Iran just because of the reason that Iran earlier was, proliferating their nuclear programs, right? So they have signed this agreement just to ensure that Iran don't proliferate their nuclear program, and in turn, United States will remove the sanctions what they have put on Iran, right? So Iran agreed to it. Right, and Iran, have done away with their nuclear program, and the sanctions are also raised by USA. But now, and the context was that JCPOA has been signed when there was Obama regime, but now it's Trump regime, right? So you should, analyze the fact that the policy of Trump is totally unpredictable, right? So it is being said that over the the Transport Ministry of Iran, with a conversation with the Hindu, has said that over the possibilities of new sanctions against Iran, the move will isolate US only. Is not going to isolate us. The Iran. If US, again impose, sanctions over us, because with us every country is there. With us India is there. With us China is there. With us Russia is there, right? So we are not going to get isolated. In fact, US is getting isolated. The policy of Trump is making his country isolated, right? So that's why, it is also being said by the Transport Minister of Iran that, the President of Iran, that is Hassan Rouhani, will travel to India to finalize the project this year only. And we also want that the Chabahar port must get, cleared, so that the special economic zone that that the Iran government is creating over there, that also gets fast tracked, right? And also, India will be getting very huge benefit from this. Why? Earlier, we were not getting direct connectivity to Afghanistan just because of the reason that Pakistan was not allowing us. Means Pakistan used to allow Afghanistan to carry out, to sell their products to India. But when that whatever the trucks were coming from the road route, if those trucks were going back to their home country, then they could not take any product from India. This was the condition of Pakistan, under which, that is not at all, economic, right? So that's why this connectivity to Chabahar port will give direct connectivity to Afghanistan, as well as will get to touch the countries like different other countries of Central Asia and Eurasian region, so that in future our Make in India initiative could get well converged with this project of international north-south trade corridor, so that in future our trade will get increased from India also, as well as Iran will also get benefit from the project which is being done at their country. And also one more thing, guys, is that China is making their port in Gwadar, right? So the construction of Chabahar port with the help of India will help India to put an indirect eye over the activities that is being going in this region, right? So this was about this news. So guys, this was all. We'll meet in tomorrow's class. Till then, bye bye, take care, and thank you for listening to me, guys. Thank you very much.